Good evening. Let us begin with this stotra of the Kathamrita. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Virilitam Kalma Shapaham Sravana Mangalam Sri Madatatam Bhuvi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. Sri Ramakrishna, he was entered the room of the Jadu Mallik's house. So that was the description. The Jadu Mallik, Adharshan, was a government official, rich man, influential man. From his house, Sri Ramakrishna is now visiting Jadu Mallik. Same day. He is going over there, spending some time, talking with people, and then after the prayer and taking a little bit of prasad, he is coming to Jadu Mallik's house. Here he is entering, and the whole Jadu Mallik's room was a Divine Mother was worshipped. In that particular room where he entered, there Divine Mother, Master Mahasaya, giving the description, he stood before the image, which had been decorated with flowers, garlands and sandal paste, and which radiated a heavenly beauty and splendor. Lights were burning before the pedestal. A priest was seated before the image. You can, if you close your eyes, by reading this, you can visualize the whole thing. According to the Hindu custom, everything was there. Sri Ramakrishna stood a long time with folded hands before the blissful image. The devotee standing behind him. Gradually he went into samadhi, his body becoming motionless and his eyes fixed. This is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. Just now he was talking, he was just like an ordinary person mixing with people, cutting jokes, making fun and all this, and suddenly a little, the mother's, the goddess image, he stood before that, his mind soared so high, he went into samadhi. Now when we talk about the samadhi, we know those who are reading and trying to practice meditation, we know how difficult it is. A little control of mind is so difficult. And Sri Ramakrishna's mind at any time is traveling to that high realm. And there he is lost. He is in samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna, the God himself, going to different houses. And there he is speaking about the God, the spirituality, and at the same time trying to make people concentrate their mind on God. We will see how he is conversing with the Jadu Mallik. He was a businessman, he was a rich man, and he was a landlord. So you can understand his way of thinking. He is a good man at the same time. So Sri Ramakrishna is talking with him. Sri Ramakrishna went into samadhi, his eyes fixed. Ramlala, he started singing. After listening to that song, his mind came down. Coming down nearly to a normal state, the master said, I shall take some of the Divine Mother's prasad. This is also, I will drink a little water, I will take some prasad, or I will go and visit him. A little bit of, as if he is suggesting his mind to have some responsibility, duty, and the moment that is there, again his mind is becoming normal. Desire. The desire is bringing his mind to the normal state. Our desire and his desire. His desire is, I will take some prasad. that is also desire. So his mind is coming down to the normal state. I will drink a little water. I like to see him. I like to go over there. These are the desires. So we cannot imagine what type of personality he was. That's a unique type. So he was the living example of the spirituality. The Shankaracharya, he has spoken about the Jivan Mukti. And according to Shankara philosophy, the Jivan Mukti is the highest stage, very lofty stage. Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti Hetave Janma Dharitam. Shankara is telling the why this human birth? Only to enjoy the freedom while living in this body, human body. The Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti Hetave Janma Dharitam. So this we find, but there are a lot of arguments are there against this. Many of the people, they said, if it is a Brahmajnana, that means how it is possible? He is living again in the body, behaving normally, at the same time he is a Brahmajnani. How do you explain? There are a lot many debates on this there. Ultimately Shankara said, Drishti na anupannam nama. When you have the realization, that is the proof. What is the proof that is a man is a Jivan Mukta? Jivan Mukta, while living. Jivan means living. Mukta, free. Free from what? Free from all the desires. Free from the bondage of the circle of birth and death. So that is called Jivan Mukti. Now the philosophical discussion, it goes on telling it is not possible. Some people give the argument, well, it is like if you cut, suppose there is the tree, a plant. If you cut that plant, still the life remains there because of the thing that was already there. So until that is totally dried up, it looks like a living plant. So all the juices are there already in the stem, so it looks like a living plant, but actually it is not. But Shankara says, no, no, it is possible. And where is the proof? He says the anubhuti is the proof. Your realization is the proof. Anyway, he, according to Shankara, Jivan Mukti, and that is the highest stage. And if we like to see who is a Jivan Mukta, we can see Sri Ramakrishna. He is having all this fun, just normal like us, more normal. Then suddenly he is completely something which we cannot fathom, we cannot think of, we cannot imagine. The man suddenly passed away into something where he is totally different, from where he comes back, and then as if it is his own will. And that is why the time when we were reading this, we quoted from the Bhagavata, it says, Grihitam Mayaru Gunaha. Grihitam, holding, accepting, receiving the qualities of the Maya. We are already bound by Maya. We cannot go beyond Maya. We are striving. Those who are the aspirants, they are actually what they are doing. They are striving to go beyond Maya. There is a special type of God's power that is completely covering. So to some extent we have discussed about the Maya, and almost all of you are having some idea about it. We are bewildered. We are behaving in a different way. We seeing and thinking as something which it's not actually. When you look at something, we immediately think it is a permanent. We purchase the stones and made the building and thinking stone is permanent. And the bricks are not, comparing with the stone. We spend a lot of money, costly stone building, permanent building. Is it permanent? Can that be permanent? But we think that way. Why deluded? Why Maya? So this way, this Maya is deluding the minds of the people. But the God, He is controlling the Maya. He is using his Maya Shakti, deluding power, for the creation, for the preservation, for the destruction. So it says, Grihitam Mayaru Gunaha Sargadaba Gunaha Swataha. Is actually the reality, it is free from all qualities, but at the time of creation, it takes the help of the Maya and accept the gunas and the qualities. Sattarajaptama of the Maya guna, he takes, then he creates Sri Ramakrishna. That's why he is God. And Swami Vivekananda, in the beginning he was doubting, he was questioning, he was constantly observing Sri Ramakrishna, every step of his. Then when he realized himself, then he said, God is the Father of God. What do you talk about God? What is God? You cannot imagine the power of this person. In the very simple way he is sitting, and when you see the picture and all that, you cannot fathom, you cannot imagine what he was. He is telling again and again to his devotees, to his brothers also. Brother monks, they were also great personalities. Even then Swami Vivekananda could understand Sri Ramakrishna, I think, completely. That's why with great confidence he is telling, do not hesitate, listen his words and just follow that, you will be blessed. So Sri Ramakrishna, he is going, visiting house to house. Can you imagine? Why? Sthapakaya cha dharmasya. He went to Jadu's, and he is talking. Now he has come down. I shall take some prasad. Jadu Mallik was sitting near him, and with several friends, among whom were a few of his flatterers. You know, the rich people. Some people will be always around the rich people, flattering him constantly to get some benefit. And they also like it. Rich people always like it. If there is no one around, then what rich he is? When he will be going out, immediately 15 people will come. Sir, please come this way. Sir, please do this. The seat is always neat and clean, but even the moment he is approaching to sit, somebody will come and clean it, even with his hand, to show his loyalty. Why? To get some money, get some favor. So they are flatterers. Sri Ramakrishna noticed it, and he was asking with a smile, well, why do you keep the buffoons with you? He was a straight way. Why do you keep these buffoons with you? Jadu Mallik was, naturally, he is a very intelligent person. He smiled and said, suppose they are buffoons, won't you redeem them? Because you are here to give mukti to all. And these fools, they are also here. Won't you redeem them? Now the answer of Sri Ramakrishna, Master smiling but giving the straightway answer. The water of the Ganges cannot purify a wine jar. Cannot purify that. He is giving just an example. That means you must have to have some purity, longing to see God. Then only God can help. And that's why Jesus said, blessed are those who are pure in heart. If you don't have the pure heart, even the God cannot bless you. So that means you have to strive to purify your heart. Blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. Again and again I quote this because many of the sentences of the Lord Jesus misunderstood, misinterpreted. I feel when I read his sentences, words, exactly Vedanta and nothing else. Anyone can see God. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest the divinity within. How? By controlling nature, external, internal. That is the whole thing. We are weak, we are sinner, we cannot do this, we cannot do that. Who said that? Every power is there. Only you have to take the resolution. Yeah, right from this moment, I am going to concentrate my mind for the God realization. And God is not far away, it is within me. Only I have to clean my mind with all the bad thoughts that is coming. What are the bad thoughts? Thoughts about the things which are temporary. The people say permanently temporary. Because they will never become permanent, they are temporary only. So these temporary things, now here we find then master is smiling. Jadumalli, well, what about the recite? Master is asking the Jadumalli. That is also dharma. What is that dharma? Jadumalli promised that when master will visit his house, he will organize a recital of Chandi. You know that some people are there, still there in our country, they recite the whole Chandi in a very nice way. It is about the Shakti, it is about the Durga. So they recite it. When a religious person go, Ram Nam, like that. Shiva Nam, Ram Nam, Chandi, recital of Chandi, like that. He promised that he will do it. Sri Ramakrishna found that nothing is there. He is reminding him, what about the Chandi recital? And the Jadu, he is telling, I have been busy with many things, I haven't been able to arrange it. Sri Ramakrishna, the master, he is the guru. So he is rectifying, he is correcting the person for the better, for his betterment, spiritual development. How is that? A man gives his word and doesn't take it back. The words of a man are like the tusk of elephant. They come out but do not go back. So that this is very, very special. Hathi ka marat ka vaat, hathi ka dant. They say marat means a personality, power that comes out. It is not the male or female person. When they give the word, they keep it. Promise must be kept. In this country, it's very good. Sometimes the fundraising, all that, they promise and they keep. Always, each and every one. So that is a good thing. So promising means this. I promise and I must give. In Andaman, one businessman, I was actually visiting him, requesting for donation with a person who is a big government official. You know, the businessman, they have to pass the bills and all that. They need the help of these government officials. When he saw the government officials, Sir, come. Sir told, it's not me today, it's Swamiji. So, welcome. Then you looked at me, he was not very much impressed, this Swami. It will, okay, sit down. Then he was saying, Sir, what you will do? Anyway, then he was telling, see, he is having 50 orphan boys with him, they need some new clothing. You have a lot of money, can you help them? Me? Now? Why not? I will give them this time. And that was Durga Puja time. Usually, all people, they buy the new clothings. So he was trying to help me. He went as a devotee, not as a government official. This businessman, he said, I will give, sir, I will give this time. And then every year, then when I die, my son will give. Then when he passes away, then his son will give, my whole family. Then I understood he is telling the lies. He will never do it. Then I told, you need not to bother about so long. Only this time if you give, I think that will be all right. You know, he never gave. Then ultimately, just to keep his promise and to save him from the wrong thing that he was doing, purchasing some little cloth for the poor boys, and there are small kids, not very costly thing. Only to save him from that falsehood, I had to inform that officer, he is not keeping his words, at least let him give little money and I will be satisfied. Then perhaps he told that if you don't give, on your behalf I will give, but please keep the word. In the Upanishad also, Kathopanishad, Anupashya yatha purve, pratipashya tatha pare, Shashyamiva matta pachyate, Shashyamiva ajayate punaha. As a small boy, Nachiketa, he is telling his father, you know that story there. And his father, when he said, go to the abode of Yama, the god of death, and then afterwards he realized, oh my God, what I have said. It should not be. So he was telling, no, it is just, I didn't mean it, I just said. Then his son was telling, Anupashya yatha purve pratipashya tatha pare. Consider how your forefathers behaved. You should not forget that. That is the human. And that is called religion, keeping the words. In the Ramayana also they say this word, Raghukula riti sada chali aayi, prana yau, baru bachan na jai. Bachan baddhata. This is a great word. Even today, most of the villagers, if you go, and particularly in different places are there, if they have given you any word, they will die for that. They will never step back. Still it is there. That is called dharma. That is called religion. Once I have given the word, I will keep it. So that is called dharma. Here also we find, look at your forefathers, what they have done. People are now praising. Now what now people are doing? And if you create an example that you can deceive, you can say lies, you say something and do something, that will be very bad. Please don't do that. He was telling his father like that. So this is a continuation. Sri Ramakrishna, he was actually helping Jadumallik, saving him from that wrongdoing. How is it? A man gives his word and does not take it back. You must do it. Then Jadumallik smiled and said, you are right. He never, it's as if he is calculating. So Sri Ramakrishna, he straightway, he said, just like the child, he was very simple and straightforward. He said, you are a shrewd man. You do a thing after much calculation. You are like a Brahmin who selects a cow that eats very little, but supplies plenty of dung, cow dung, and gives much milk. Everybody was laughing. So the cow, you need not to feed much, but it is giving so much. So that way, from the cow dung, you can use in many things. In our country, they use it for different purposes. So everybody was laughing. After a time, he said to Jadu, he was observing him, and then he said, I now understand your nature. It is half warm and half cold. You are devoted to God and also to the world. So this is a person, half, but still Sri Ramakrishna is liking him. He is visiting him. He is talking with him. He is giving the instructions so that this man, if he turns his mind a little, that will be great. So he is talking like that. The master and his devotees were served by the Jadu with the sweets and fruit, and then the party left for the home of Khelat Ghosh. He is a very rich man. Still in his name, in our country they give the name, so he is a famous man. By his name there is a road is there, Khelat Ghosh. And the whole area, because he was a landlord, so all the buildings, Khelat Ghosh. Sri Ramakrishna went to him. So what the picture that we get? He had the doors were open for him to visit all the rich people. At that time in Calcutta, very famous and powerful people, influential people used to visit. You know why? Because if they are turned to religious life, they would be able to help many people, poor people, because they have that capacity. So Sri Ramakrishna used to go and try to turn their mind. He was God. He could simply turn it, but he never did. Because as per their own karma phala they should go. He used to go and only guide them. Nadatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhu. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna is telling, I don't give anything to anyone, neither the bad nor the good. I am not cursing, I am not also giving some good thing to anyone. I am only observing, but at the same time as a guru, as a master, As a preceptor, he is going house to house and guiding them. You should live in this way, talking with the people. And suppose he visited the Jadu Mallik's house, some people came there, gathered there. And when he is going to Kilat Babu's house, these people are not there. So obviously another group of people, that was the missionary work that he used to do. He started that. It was not in practice. Sri Ramakrishna started. So he started visiting different houses and talking to them. He went to the Kilat Ghosh. Kilat Ghosh house was a big mansion, but it looked deserted. As the master entered the house, he fell into an ecstatic mood. This is also very special. When a monk is visiting, holy man is visiting somebody's house, he must bring some divine thing over there. Those who are capable like Sri Ramakrishna, they bring that. Otherwise, people like ordinary people, spiritual people, they pray to God. They are supposed to, they must. When we are going there, we have to, the people, religious people, when they are going there, they must pray for them. I learnt it from one senior monk. I think I told you. Both of us, we went to Baharampur, that's a place in West Bengal. They organize a huge program, annual function. And every year they invite. I got the invitation, I went there as a speaker, and the senior Swamiji also there, Purananandaji, he is no more. And then there's one lady, she invited us, Swamiji, will you please come to our house in the breakfast? So both of us went to her house. Then after the breakfast, when we were about to come out, and the Swami asked me, almost whispering, hey, they have fed you so many things. What you have given to them? I was new, so I was not knowing anything. I was a brahmachari that time. So I thought, oh, I should have brought some books or some photo or something to give as a gift. I told Swamiji, I never knew that I have to give. Otherwise, I could purchase some books from there, from our bookstore. No, I am not talking about the books. They have a lot of books. The photos also they are having. What you have given to them? I was wondering what I am supposed to give. Then he said, have you prayed for them? That is the teaching. That is the teaching of the monks, the holy people. They always rectify. They always say the correct things so that you should. Sometimes some people shun. Let it go. It is his or her problem. If I say something like this, they may think in a different way. No. And that is the ministerial job. They should always try to rectify people. Whoever coming near. One lady came and she is a very good devotee. She loves to cook. She goes to different ashramas and cook for Swamis, but love to talk about that. Then I told her, it's good that you are doing it, but don't talk about that. The elderly lady. So I told, don't talk about that. When you are boasting, when you are talking, so obviously other people are thinking, oh, you are so blessed you could do. So there are so many, they are cooking and feeding. So that is the normal thing that goes. You only think I had the opportunity to do that because God gave a little correction. A little, unless just that much. When the mind is alert in that way, I got the opportunity to serve, I got the opportunity to do. And the God came in the form of this person. That is your benefit. So that is the thing. Sri Ramakrishna is giving the correction and to the Jadumalli, and after entering into the house of the Kilat Ghosh, he entered into Samadhi and then bringing that divine aura, that house to bless that, he is telling. And Ramlal and other few devotees were with him. Their host was Kilat Ghosh, brother-in-law. He was an old man, a Vaishnava. His body was stamped with the name of God according to the Vaishnava custom. So we know that Vaishnavas, they will be writing the name of Krishna all over the body. And even in the songs are also there, the Radha, she is praying to her, requesting her friends, when I die, write the name of Krishna all over my body. So that is the system of the Vaishnavas. And he carried in his hand a small bag containing his rosary. Usually they always do go on taking the name of God. He had visited the master now and then at Dakshineshwar. The master means Sri Ramakrishna, this gentleman visited. But most of the Vaishnavas here, the master Mahasaya is very bold to give that statement. Most of the Vaishnavas held narrow religious views. They criticized the Vedantins and the followers of Shiva called Shaktas. Sri Ramakrishna soon began to speak. See, this is the background. This person, there Sri Ramakrishna went, other people are there. Sri Ramakrishna is talking about what? Here he is talking about Master. It is not good to feel that one's own religion alone is true and all others are false. So that is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. Here also he is helping the devotees, those people. They are thinking only Krishna is the God. Krishnastu Bhagavan Sayam. That is okay, but who is that Krishna? They won't think. So that is the narrowness. Because of that simple narrowness, it is very difficult to reach to God who is all pervading. Well, without God there is nothing. And if you think that only Krishna and his devotees, then why? Millions of people who are not knowing Krishna at all, never heard the name of Krishna at all, are they all sinners? Are they all going to perish in the hell? Ask the question yourself, and you will get the answer. It is not possible. Where from they were created. If you say that God created this universe, God created this all being, they are also created by God. So here Sri Ramakrishna is giving this clear statement. It is not good to feel that one's own religion alone is true and all others are false. God is one only and not two. Sri Ramakrishna is the worshipper of goddess Kali. Many people, even today, they say Kali Pujari, the worshipper of goddess Kali, the priest of goddess Kali. But his realization is one, not two. So that is the speciality. Different people call on him by different names. Some as Allah, some as God, others as Krishna, Shiva, Brahman. It is like the water in a lake. Some drink it at one place and call it jal. Jal in Bengali. Others at another place and call it pani. It is in Hindi. And still others at third place call it water. That is, and in another place also he said aqua. So in different places, in different names, the Hindus call it jal, the Christian water, Muslim pani, but it is one and the same thing. Opinions are but paths. Each religion is only a path leading to God. Some years back, I was traveling in Bangladesh here. In Bangladesh I was visiting, and everything is written in Bengali. So I asked that the stewardess there, can you please give me a glass of water in Bengali? To jal deben? And she told, I can't understand what you are telling, because the Muslim never say the jal, they say pani. So I was wondering why the Bengali lady can't understand the Bengal. I am only telling the Bengali words, jal. Then the next person who was sitting by my side, and the young man, he was laughing and telling, no, she won't respond. You have to tell pani. Then only, I told, okay. So this is only the same thing, the name is different and people behave in a different way. Sri Ramakrishna is taking those words and using to example. He said, as rivers come from different directions and ultimately become one in one ocean? Similarly, all different names of God, different paths, different philosophy, all leading to the same God, one God. It cannot be two. The truth established in the Vedas, the Puranas, the Tantras, he is only mentioning from the Hindu, this different sects. The truth established in the Vedas, in the Puranas and the Tantras is but one Satchidananda, Satchit Ananda. In the Vedas it is called Brahman. In the Puranas it is called Krishna, Rama. And in the Tantra it is called Shiva. The one Satchidananda is called Brahman, Krishna and Shiva. So this is the solution. He was the living parliament of religion. We talk about the parliament of religion. We are having constantly dialogue on different religion. And so many hundreds of meeting almost every day to exchange our views. If we only understand this in simple way, everything is solved. The Swami Vivekananda afterwards emphatically said, shall a Christian become a Hindu? God forbid. Is a Muslim become a Christian? God forbid. You need not to change your religion. You need not to change your faith. Only one thing you need to have, that is sincerity first. Second, a faith on other religion that they are also leading to the same goal. Whatever the path that I have chosen is the only bright path, and all others are false, all others are doing wrong, that is the narrowness. That is total foolishness. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is very clear. And that is the reason in the Ramakrishna mission we always follow like that. I told you before, one gentleman and a lady came and they were asking what type of God you follow. I told you better go and see. They were in my office. I go and see in our shrine. It's just a little. You go and open the door and enter. You see, you will understand. We believe in everything. In one side, there's a Jesus, another side, the Lord Buddha, and the symbol that is showing that we believe in all paths. But we follow a particular path. And he was asking, can you sit by my side to pray? And why not? I will pray in my own way, you pray your own way. And we can sit inside our shrine. Then I told, will you allow that in your own church? Suppose I go to your place, and if I like to pray in my own way over there, will you allow? He said, oh, you'll think in this way. There's nothing wrong. Take time, think, and think in a broad mind. You need not to come and pray over here. I need to go and pray to your place. Only thing I have on little small this idea, I am also traveling, you are also traveling. We have not reached. So we should not fight only under the assumption that my path is the best one and yours is wrong. And if you are not choosing my path, let me break your head. No. Don't do that. That is narrowness. One should not do that. The devotees were silent when Sri Ramakrishna was speaking in that way. Then the Vaishnava devotee said, Sir, why should one think of God at all? Not that it is so genuine. As we can understand from here, he was not very much happy with the Sri Ramakrishna's words. So he's just putting the words in a different way. I think, this is my feeling. Sir, why should one think of God at all? क्या जरूरत है हिंदी में कहते हैं तो क्या जरूरत है why what is not necessary to think of God. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer. If a man really has that knowledge, then he is indeed liberated, though living in a body. Liberated, though living in a body, jivan mukta. Jivit mukta, jivan mukta. He is living but liberated, liberated from all bondages. But if he is really having that idea, otherwise not. As because the knowledge that God exists in everything. Then why should I have to think about God? That is why Sri Ramakrishna said to his great disciple, Swami Vivekananda, if you can see God by closing your eyes within your heart, can't you see God by opening your eyes? That was the great teaching. And when Swami Vivekananda, he was giving a totally new formation in the Hindu religion. And he said, my object of worship is the poor, the downtrodden, the illiterate, the oppressed. You have read in the Veda, Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava. You have read in the Veda, let your father be your God, mother be your goddess, teacher be your God, and the guest be your God. I say unto you, add with that, Daridra Devo Bhava, Murkha Devo Bhava. These are bold words. Daridra Devo Bhava, even the poor people, they are your living gods. Go and serve them. So that is the way this philanthropic work doesn't mean out of emotion I am doing and then I don't like it, I stop it. Not like that. At the back there is a philosophy. And without the philosophy it cannot be the strong way we can do that. We don't get the benefit of course. When we are out of just emotion working, we don't get the religious benefit. So when you are working with a philosophical background resolution, you get the spiritual benefit for the same thing. So this he is telling over here, and if a man really has that knowledge, then he is indeed liberated, though living in body. Not all, then again he is continuing, by any means believe in God. Very difficult to believe in God. We believe in everything except God. That is very peculiar. They simply talk. The worldly minded have heard from someone that God exists and that everything happens by His will, but it is not their inner belief. They don't really believe it. They're hard about it, that's all. There is no such confidence and faith and the striving to understand. So obviously, is it possible for all to comprehend God? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yadati siddhai yatatam api siddhyanam kaschin mam vetti tattata. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna said, there are millions of people, among the millions, only one or few, they strive to realize me. And among those microscopic, those people, they, one or two, may realize me. Is it possible for all to comprehend God? God has created the good and the bad. Now he is giving, that is, what is God actually? Very clear idea, no ambiguity. God has created good and the bad, the devoted and the impious, the faithful and the skeptical. The wonders that we see all exist in His creation. In one place there is more manifestation of His power, and in another less. The suns, then immediately he is giving an example to make it very clear. The sun's light is better reflected by water than by earth, and still better by a mirror. Again, there are different levels among the devotees of God: superior, mediocre, and inferior. All this has been described in the Gita. Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning the Swatika, Rajasika, Tamasika, Bhakti, and the Bhakta. So these three different type of people are there because according to their temperament, the mentality. And in different places, Sri Ramakrishna already has given and will be giving when we will continue this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, giving the story of three friends and all that, Satta Raja Tama. The God has been Vaishnava, he said, true sir. Then the master, Sri Ramakrishna, is telling, inferior devotee says God exists, but is very far off, up there in the heaven. So that is the idea of the inferior type of devotees, a little bit of idea about God, and they are thinking God is in very high heaven. The mediocre devotee says God exists in all beings as life and consciousness. The superior devotee says it is God himself who has become everything. Whatever I see is only a form of God. It is He alone who has become Maya, the universe and all living beings. Nothing exists but God. Ishavashyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. When we were studying the Ishavashya Upanishad, the very first word is nothing but God, and that is the basis of Hinduism. And so sometimes some Hindus, when they say, do not enter into our temple, they must think twice. Are they really Hindu? Hindu cannot say no. Can never say no. If you are doubtful that some people may enter and damage the temple, you can take security measure, but you cannot say no to anyone. So this is the thing that we must understand, the present day Hindus must understand. So this is called religion. Each and everything is nothing but the God. And that is why Hindu in their daily life, they say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. All the Vasudha, this whole world is my relative. That's close to me. Kutumba. Those are my relatives. As I always feel attracted, I always ready to serve them, to make them happy. Similarly, anyone from any corner of the world, whatever may be the religion, whatever may be the language, whatever may be the color, whatever may be the other differences, each and everything is nothing but God's manifestation. How can I say no? And here the Sri Ramakrishna, highest form of Vedanta, he says. That is the highest form of Vedanta. God is everything, and everything is living in God. Yo sarvatran anavisneha tat tat prapya shubha shubham na vinandati na dveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. In Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, when the Arjuna was asking about, when the Sri Krishna said, this is the person whom you can say the sthita prajna, whose mind, whose thought and intellect is sthita, is permanent. This is the person. When he is thinking, this is the right, he never deviates from that decision. And what is his quality? Sthita prajna. Sri Ramakrishna said, the question as the Arjuna was asking, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Here the devotee is asking similar way, does anyone ever attain that state of mind? When Sri Ramakrishna was describing about the 3 stages of devotees, 3 different types of devotees, he was asking, as the third one, the superior one is seeing God in everything, everything is nothing but God, then he is feeling doubt. Does anyone ever attain that state of mind? The master, one cannot attain it unless one has seen God. But there are signs that a man has had the vision of God. Signs. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. Bhasha means sign. And here Sri Ramakrishna is telling there are signs that a man has seen God. A man who has seen God sometimes behaves like a madman. He laughs, weeps, dances, and sings. Sometimes he behaves like a child of 5 years old, guileless and without vanity, unattached to anything, not under the control of any of the gunas, always blissful. These are the symbols, these are the signs of a God realized person. A child may behave like that, but is full of ignorance. But a God realized person behaves like a child, but he is full of God's knowledge. Sometimes he behaves like a God and he doesn't differentiate between things pure and things impure. He sees no difference between things clean and the things unclean, and sometimes he is like an inert, stirring vacantly. He cannot do any work, he cannot strive for anything. He is going on giving. How we can understand this? When we see some people and they are tamasic, they are the last stage of the human being and the highest, almost like same. But we have to understand properly this type of behavior many people can do when under the diseases or maybe losing their the mental capacity. Insane type of people, they also may behave like this. No difference between impure and pure, clean and unclean. But when a highly realized person is doing that, that is totally different. Was Master making a veiled reference to his own state of mind? The Sri Ma, who is constantly living with Sri Ramakrishna, now he is analyzing and is thinking all that he is telling just like his own. Because he behaves like a child. I like to eat that, I like to go over there. Sometimes he is dancing, he is weeping, he is crying and going back to the deep meditation which is called samadhi. And sometimes he is cutting jokes and making fun. It's so difficult to understand him. So that's why the Master Maharaj, he is thinking, is it about him that he is telling? And Master to the Vaishnava devotee, the feeling of thee and thine is the outcome of knowledge. The feeling of I and mine comes from ignorance. Knowledge makes one feel, O God, thou art the doer and I am thy instrument. O God, to thee belongs all, body, mind, house, family, living beings, and the universe. All these are thine, nothing belongs to me. That is the knowledge. That is the knowledge. An ignorant person says, O God, is there very far off? The man of knowledge knows that God is right here, very near, in the heart, that he has assumed all forms and dwells in all hearts as their inner controller. Thank you, friends. Today up to this. This is our goal and we have to achieve that particular condition, a state of mind. And when we are striving ourselves, trying to purifying our heart by taking the name of God, or doing some unselfish work, meditating and also worshipping with the 4 yogas that we regularly practice, surely one day we will reach over there and this blessed condition, and that is the highly coveted position, coveted place of a human soul, human goal, about which Sri Ramakrishna said, God realization is the goal of human life. Let us pray to God so that we can reach there as quickly, as soon as possible. Let us pray to Sri Ramakrishna. Offer our pranam. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhakti Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vigraham Vai Ishavattaram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.